Yeah, Keith, definitely. We're still in an uptrend, so I'm not too worried about the trade. Like you can see here for odd USD, we took a buy position after we had a valid entry right here, and we're still in a pretty strong uptrend right here. So I'm not too worried about odd USD. But we'll go ahead and look over the other signals from this morning. Amarit's asking if we can go over all the signals, so we'll do that in a little bit. Just let me finish getting this webinar on YouTube for the other users. Once we get that going, then we can be good to go. I'll give it a few more seconds. It's still loading right now.
Hey, Shawn, where'd you go, bro?
Took a nap, bro. I was tired, man.
I feel you, bro.
I took a nap like at after I checked over all the signals. So we'll do that. Yeah, I took a nap like around 2, and after I checked, around 3 when I checked if there was any valid entries, and then it was supposed to be like a 10-minute nap. I ended up sleeping until like right now, and luckily I just woke up in time. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much where I was. And then when I came back, there was like over 500 messages.
I had went to go check out my sister's car, and I had came back to like 300 messages. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So where's your sister's car that you guys just left it at home?
Bro, I think they might junk it, bro. I don't know. It's too much going on right now. That's back-to-back weeks, bro. First the bike, then the catalytic converter, the sensor, the muffler. I'm like, dang. He said at least 1,000.
What kind of car did you have?
It's an older car, 2005 Honda Civic.
Oh, yeah.
It was something for a new one.
Yeah, I didn't realize people were still doing that. I know like a long time ago, people are stealing, catalytic converters like every day, but I thought they kind of slowed down on that, but I guess they started doing it again. Yeah, my parents' car a long time ago, they had like a Toyota Sequoia, and they sold a catalytic converter on that car like 4 times, and it's pretty expensive to replace. It's like 1,000, and then they sold it like 4 or 5 times, and then it just got to the point where we ended up just putting a lock on it so they couldn't steal it anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, dude.
Look at James said.
Yeah, I said, remember California? Yeah, man, it's crazy. Over here in California, they don't care. They'll steal your catalytic converter while you're in a grocery store.
But it's crazy. We live on it happened on Carson Street. It's on a main street, bro. So I'm like, bro, like they're bold for that.
Yeah, no, I've seen it on my security camera sometimes. Like, not in my house, but like people in the neighborhood, because I have a ring. I see cars like just stop in the middle of the street, and then they just pull out, and then they steal the catalytic converter like real quick, like within a couple minutes. Crazy, like professional. But yeah, guys, all right, I'm gonna stop talking about random stuff, and I'll start looking at the chart. So first question here, Amarit wants us to look over the signals that we sent today. So I'm gonna start off with odd CHF. So this is the first signal that we had this morning. Like I said earlier, the trade was going pretty well. It was about to hit TP1 up here. So we were in profit pretty nice about 17 to 20 pips up here. And we were about to hit TP. Unfortunately, once Trump, announced, whatever executive order he was gonna be placing on the big social media companies like Twitter, Facebook, etc. The Swiss franc gained in strength because Swiss franc is it's a safe haven currency. So as you can see, price was going up and then it just shot back down. So that's pretty much what happened here. But we're still in an uptrend. It's a pretty strong uptrend as well, just how I showed for odd USD. So even though it pulled back a bit, it did reject off the strong support area right here. So I still see it coming back up. So I'm not too worried about that. You can see the strong rejection wick right there. And this candle closes in about 40 minutes. So I would give it some more time. And then once it closes above this support zone right here, we could probably see it shoot on upwards. I know Amarit's been asking me a lot of questions about every pair. I think you need to calm down a little bit, Amarit, because this was caused by there was something that caused this drop. This wasn't like something normal that happened. It was because of Trump's the news that he released, because not just that, but the news with the tension against China as well. So as So pretty much as that news is being released, a lot of safe haven currencies like the Swiss franc are going to gain strength because obviously if there's uncertainty in the world, people don't want to put their money in something that's safe. So that's one of the signals that we sent down on CHF. That looks okay because you can see the nice rejection off the support here. So I'm anticipating it to continue on upwards. Similar with our next position here for AUD/USD, same exact situation. It was literally going to hit TP1 right here. So it was only, let's see, less than a pip, probably a pip, 2 pips away from TP1 over here. Unfortunately, once Trump made his announcements, all the executive orders and whatever stuff he's trying to do against China, due to the tension, it just ended up reversing. I honestly, I can't really explain like why this happened for AUD/USD because, the opposite happened for AUD/CHF. But I don't know if there's any other news. Aaron, do you know if there was other news that was? Let me just pull it.
Well, recently there was JPY news. It was high impact.
So that could have affected it as well. Let's see. So earlier this morning, our positions were made after, so there wasn't really anything that happened, between after 7 a.m. And the reversal started happening. Well, not really reversal, but the little spike in price in the opposite direction started to happen around 10 a.m. So I mean, I'm not sure what else could have affected this aside from Trump's announcements. But as I said for AUD/CHF, it's rejecting off this pretty strong support right here. So we could probably see this rejecting off here and shooting back on up. So I'm not too worried about AUD/CHF, AUD/USD. Although they were pretty deep in profit before that happened. Next trade over here, CAD/JPY. Like I said earlier, JPY is a safe haven currency as well. So obviously if CHF gains in strength, the JPY is going to gain in strength too. But where I'm confused is with AU because the USD is not a safe haven currency. So you wouldn't expect AU to be moving in that same direction unless something with the AUD was affecting it, which I'm not aware of. But if you were in CAD/JPY, it did hit TP1 over here. So you could have locked in, I think, about 40 pips or whatnot. And if you're following your exit strategy, as it reached TP1, you probably should have moved your stop loss, closer up near TP1, just to avoid being stuck in a situation like this. Because his price, go ahead. So his price went on up to the 50% mark, somewhere around here, 40 pips. If you move your stop loss, somewhere slightly below there, you would have gone stopped out with about 40 pips in profit, and then you wouldn't be stuck in this pullback right here. Although it's still in profit, you kind of you don't want to be stuck in something like this because there's uncertainty whether price will be coming back down and rejecting off the support before correcting on up, or if price just might go ahead and correct on back up. But in the situation right here, if you got out around 40 pips, if price was to come down and test the support again, you could have made a re-entry right here. So you wouldn't be stuck in this drawdown right here, or not even drawdown because you're still in profit. But you could have locked in more pips if you wanted to re-enter. And that's why we always advise that you exercise proper risk management, and that you follow specific rules to protect your account, because instead of being out 40 pips right here, so say if you didn't move your stop loss, so if you didn't move your stop loss, you would have been stuck in like some slight drawdown right here. For instead of getting 40 pips, you would have been stuck with 10 pips, and that's your loss of 30 pips right there. So sometimes you just have to recognize that you need to take money off the table. Sometimes you can't just leave it running, especially when something's going on in the world, like Trump setting out some random tweets or whatever announcement that he does that could be affecting the market and whatnot. But yeah, so there goes AUD/CHF, AUD/USD, and then next we just have this CAD/JPY here. After that, we're going to look over Euro/CHF. So same situation, like I said, for AUD/CHF. CHF is the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So you can see right here, our position was going really well. It actually hit TP1 up here. So this full position would be for 38.6 pips. But you can see here, price came ahead and shot up about 25 pips. So I'm not sure what TP1 was because it was already triggered. But like I said, also for KJPY, if you move your stop loss as it hit TP1, you would have been stopped out with at least 20 to 25 pips, and then you wouldn't be stuck in this little pullback right here. And then the same situation here, price could either come down, test the support, and then shoot on back upwards, or it can just turn around from where it is right now and just keep on shooting on upwards. However, if you traded smart and you were able to adjust your position, then you could have locked in way more pips than you probably would have by not doing so. So there goes USCHF, looks fine right there. Our next position right here, NZDCHF, same exact situation. Like, I can't explain what else would have caused all of these pairs to drop, aside from Trump's his announcement. If you guys know anything, go ahead and put it in the chat so we can analyze whatever theory that is. But from my perspective, this is the only reason that, I mean, this is pretty much the only reason I would anticipate this from dropping, because similar to what we had for AUD CHF, Euro CHF, and then now NZD CHF, it all leads to the same analysis that the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency, and due to Trump's announcement, with the uncertainty going on in the world, obviously people are going to want to put their money in safe haven currencies like the Swiss franc or the Japanese yen. But you can see here, prices rejecting off the support again at the same area. So what I anticipate happening here is I anticipate it to correct on upwards and shoot on up. So if you guys are still in these positions, I think we're still fine. So I wouldn't worry too much. You can see right here, it's correcting back up as we speak. So I would just give it some time, be patient. Don't freak out too much. Because yeah, just similar to the other pairs, this is still in an upturn as well. So you can see it's a strong move upwards. So, I would hang tight and just let it play out, because there's not much you can do. I mean, you can close out in a drawdown here, but who's going to want to close out, negative X amount of pips? You're already in the negative pretty far down. You might as well just hang on and let it do what it's supposed to do. All right, so our last trade that we have active right now is going to be NZD USD. And then for NZD USD, you can see same exact situation with AUD USD. I still can't explain, why the USD gained in power after, Trump's announcement. But similar, some people, it's the same exact pattern right here. So it came up, was about to hit TP1, and then pulled back hard because of the news earlier. You can see right here, AUD USD is back in profit. So you go back to NZD USD, same exact situation right here. It was about to hit TP right here for, let's see. So it was only off about 8 pips. So, it's literally about to hit, or not even 8 pips, probably 5 pips, because I was going to count it from the wick. Probably less than 5 pips from TP1. But once Trump, announced whatever he announced earlier at 10 a.m., price pretty much rejected pretty sharply. But as you can see right here, price is rejecting off this zone. Let me see if there's another support that's near there. No, so that's pretty much the same area. So same analysis that we did earlier. As it pulls down, it's probably going to shoot back up, if not shoot back up from where it already is. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. If I did see something where I saw price was going to like for a sure reverse, then I would have let you guys know. But I'm not too worried. I mean, it's all about trade psychology. They're trying to trick you out right here, make you think that it's coming down, so people will get rid of their positions. But as soon as you get rid of your positions, what the institutions are going to do is they're going to shoot price back up. So just stay calm and wait for it to play out. And then lastly, I'll go over US 30. So let me zoom out of this. So this is our US 30 position right here. We did hit TP1 for US 30, which was right here. So if you guys did have this position active, and you guys had an ample amount of time, you had about 30 minutes to get out of your trade before price made that hard reversal due to Trump's announcement. So as you can see right here, the traders are doing perfectly fine. So we'll go back to so I think it was around 10 a.m. So Trump made his announcement sometime around here. That's when it started to come down and it corrected back up. And then it just started shooting down pretty hard. So I'll just rewind it right here. This was our daily US 30 position. We entered right here. So the market opened right here at 6:30. We took the first buy signal, or not just the buy signal, but the first momentum candle that appeared after the New York Stock Exchange open, which was right here, like we do every day. And we pretty much wrote it up. So we wrote it up. It shot up about 750 pips, maybe a little more. And then when it got up there, what we always advise is to move your stop loss and profit. You can move your stop loss to break even. You can move stop loss to TP1 or somewhere slightly below. So if you guys were following directions as we always advise, then you would have been perfectly fine, because if you move your stop loss up here, even if you forgot to move it right when it touched, it did come back down and it shot right back up. So you had 30 minutes to move your stop loss. So if you guys didn't move your stop loss and ended up losing this trade, that would have been a mistake on your end, because you had well enough time to exit your trade. But you can see right here, if you move your stop loss, you could have at least locked in 500 pips, which is perfectly fine, because if your broker values a US 30 micro pips as a dollar per pip, you could have locked in 500 bucks within 2 hours, which is not bad at all. Or you could even move it up to 600 pips or even 700 pips. So it's unfortunate if you guys didn't move your stop loss, because I know the US 30 trades have been hitting full profit for the past month. So I could see why you guys would have wanted to take the risk and not move your stop loss. But you guys can't forget about risk management. Risk management is always going to be number one, regardless as to whatever strategy we're applying. Even though you guys know that my US 30 strategy is extremely profitable and extremely accurate, there's no way that we could have predicted that Trump was going to go on Twitter or whatever he did and say the things he did, because honestly that this trade should have perfectly went to full TP. But anything could happen in the world, and you guys have to be able to protect the position whenever possible, especially if you're trading US 30. You're going to have to monitor your trade. This isn't an asset where technically you can set it and forget it, but the thing is, it's an asset that can be affected by literally anything, because the stock market is connected to so many things. So obviously if Trump is going to wage war against, some of the biggest companies that are being traded in the US 30. If you guys don't know what the US 30 is, these are basically the 30 top stocks in the United States. And obviously, Trump said that he was going to, implement some executive order placing restrictions on Facebook, Twitter, etc. There's like the big social media giants, and they're within this this index. So obviously, if he's going to be taking action against those companies, obviously what's going to happen? Price, the price of those stocks are going to drop, or people are going to lose confidence in those stocks, because what if he places some extreme restrictions on those companies, and it just destroys the whole company, and that's exactly what happened here, and that's why it dropped so heavily. Like this isn't a normal drop here that happens mid market. This drop right here is somewhat normal because the market just opened. So this could be based on so many different things pre-market, but this right here happening during the market, it was clearly because something happened. There was a catalyst that pushed price down, and it was basically Trump's statements, not only against those companies, but also against China, because it just affected the stocks within this index so heavily that it dropped price all the way down. But like I said, if you guys adjusted your stop loss, even if you adjust your stop loss to break even, you're completely fine. You had 700 pips to get out of this trade, or protect your position to some extent. So I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't have moved your stop loss at least to break even. Like it makes no sense for you to not even move your stop loss to break even. That would be the most basic thing you could have done, because you're in this trade for how long? So this trade started to reverse after like nearly 3 hours. You guys had 3 hours to do something about the trade, even when you guys knew that TP1 was hit. So I mean, yeah, if you guys got stuck in that trade and lost some money, then it's real unfortunate. I lost money on my FTMO account. because for that account, I let it run to full TP, but it's fine because how many pips did we make yesterday? So if I go back to the trade yesterday, this is the 28th. So if I go back to the trade on the 27th, so this is the same trade right here. So right here, I'm just gonna mark it right here. Vertical line at 6:30 right here. This is when the stock market opened. We're going to do the same exact thing we did over here. So once the stock market opened, we take the first K2 signal, which would be right here. So let me go ahead and I'll just rewind it, or I'll just rewind it here. So I'll show you guys, the full analysis of how we take our US30 trades. So right here, this is when the stock market opened. Next up, we're going to take the first K2 signal, which is these vertical lines right here that are indicating the the direction of momentum for the day. So right here, what we're doing is we're waiting for the signal to appear. So right here, we got a buy signal. This is indicating that momentum is going to be swinging upwards for the day. So right here, we're going to take a buy position. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our stop loss at the previous swing, which is down here. And then what I do is I round this to the nearest 500 interval. So right here, it's 1,768 pips. We're going to round that to the closest 500th interval. So we're going to round that to 2,000. And then we trade for a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So we set our profit target to 2,000 as well. So right here, we enter this trade and then let it run. And there you go, profit target, easy money. So right here, we made 2,000 pips, pretty easily. There's like literally just drawdown on the first candle. But other than that, straight to profit. Again, yesterday on the 27th, we'll do the same exact thing. So the market opened right over here, 6:30. So I'll rewind back to that time. And then we're going to do the same exact thing. Stock market just opened. Now we're going to wait for the next K2 signal to enter a position. So let's wait for the next signal. Again, right here, we entered this buy right here because we have, this is a buy signal, and it's the first signal after the New York Stock Exchange had opened. So we're going to enter a buy right there. We're going to place our stop loss at the previous swing, which would be somewhere down here. So the minimum stop loss is going to be 1,500. It's at 1432, so we're just going to round that to 1,500. It's going to be the minimum because you want some cushion. Profit target and 1,500, and then we're going to let it run. And then stretch this out a little bit. And as you can see right there, profit target. And then Monday obviously was Memorial Day, so there was no US30 trade for that day. So this is Tuesday. We made 1,500 pips. Again, on Wednesday, we keep playing it. We made another 2,000 pips, so that's 3,500 pips for the week. Just for the week for just trading US30 once a day. And then again for today, I'll set a vertical line for the stock market opened, which would be right here. So we're going to take the first K2 signal after that, like it did right here. So right here, we're going to buy a signal. We enter this trade. And like I said, we exited at TP1 because if you're following proper risk management, then obviously you'd move your stop loss. So again, right there. So technically, we haven't made any losses yet for US30. Like I said, it's unfortunate if you guys didn't move your stop loss, but you guys did have a ton of opportunity here to move your stop loss and profit. So we're counting this as a win. So on Tuesday, we won 1,500 pips. Thursday, so Tuesday we won 1,500 pips. Wednesday we won 2,000 pips, and then today, Thursday, we won 750 pips. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we still haven't had any losses. Although I did lose on my FTM account, I did win 750 pips on my my personal account. So that's why we're going to count it as a win, because obviously it did hit TP1 here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week of US30. And Amrit, I think that answers all the questions that you had regarding all the signals that were sent out today. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next question. So let's see. The next question is from Emmanuel. He's asking any thoughts on odd CHF. So like I was mentioning earlier, we still have an odd CHF position that is open right now. So if I go back to odd CHF, we're in it for a long position. Like I mentioned, this reversal here happened due to Trump's announcement, indicating that he was going to implement an executive order against, the social media companies. And, he was going to make an announcement against China as well. So, that caused a spike here. But like I said, price rejected off this support pretty nicely. So I'm anticipating it to shoot on upwards. So this should be good right here. If you're not in this position and you want to enter this, you can go ahead and put, I think, Manuel, I think you're in our premium, so you do have the signal. So if you're not in this position yet and you do want to enter, you can go ahead and put a buy stop right here at the original entry, and then pretty much shoot on upwards. Aaron, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So Aaron's here, and that answers your question, Emmanuel. For odd CHF, I do think it's going to come back up. So if you want to enter this, go ahead and put your buy stop, right there, and then you can write it back up as it shoots back up. But I'm going to be looking for signals, as it gets closer to 6 p.m. We have 22 minutes left in this candle, so once this candle closes, we'll be looking for some more. Okay, let's see. An anonymous attendee said, "What does all the flags on TradingView mean?" These flags down here. So these flags down here are news events for that specific currency. So right here it has the Swiss franc. I mean the Swiss flag. So right here this would be Swiss news, and then this flag right here is obviously going to be the Australian flag or the New Zealand flag. So these news are going to be different news events that are going to be released for those specific countries. I think that's the flags you're talking about, unless you see something else that I don't see. Aaron, do you see any other flags? I don't know if he means these tabs or these. I'm pretty sure he's talking about these flags down here. I don't see you in the chat, but if this doesn't answer your question, let me know, and I can go over it. I'm just not sure which flag you're talking about. But if you're talking about these flags down here, these are economic news events. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what other flags that you mentioned. If you're talking about these flags right here, where I have them tabbed, these flags are just they're just highlights for me to look at these pairs a little later. But yeah, that's pretty much what those flags are. So another question from another anonymous attendee: Do you see your USD? Okay, do you see your USD coming down? Let's pull up your USD. Honestly, I don't know, because with this is weird here, because like I said with with the other pairs like odd USD, the USD gaining strength right here, and then again for what was another USD pair? There was another USD pair. Oh, and yeah, so odd USD and NZD USD, the USD gained in strength, but here for Euro USD, it looks like it was unfazed. Nothing even happened here, which is pretty unusual to me, because you'd expect if USD is strong on other pairs, resulting from the news that was released. Even here for GU, it pulled back a little bit, so it's kind of unusual that EU didn't really pull back at all here. So it might come down. I can't really say, because there was a big bullish candle right here. So usually what happens when there's a strong bullish move is there's some retracement, which we did have some right here. But this could literally go in either direction. It can go either up, or it can go either down. Like there's no catalyst right now telling us which direction price could or would not go. So right now, until there's something telling that will give us an indication that price is either going to retrace down to test support, and then maybe shoot on up, then we can make that inference. But right now there's no real catalyst giving us any type of any type of hint as to, you know, what's going to happen to price, because literally this can go up or it can come down. It could go either way. So for the most part, you know, I can't really give you a confident answer whether it's going to come down or not. Although it is in a strong uptrend right here, so I think it's overall going to continue on upwards regardless. But you know, it might come down, test support before coming back up, because the thing is, it broke this zone right here. So generally, you know, price can either come back, break and retest, and then shoot on up, or it can just keep shooting on up. So personally, I wouldn't take a sell position if you're trying to catch this little move right here. What I would do is I would take a buy position, but I would wait for some sort of confirmation telling you that, you know, price is more likely than not to keep on shooting upwards, because, you know, the worst thing that can happen is you enter a buy here and then it retraces down and tests the support. But you know, if you put your stop loss down here, you'll be fine. Although if you you know, if you just take a random trade, you know, obviously you'd rather not be in a drawdown. So I would just hold off on that until, you know, there's some other confirmation that that could be letting you know whether that trade is going to be good or not. We did have this trade last night. It was one of our signals. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So if I pull up, so we did have a Euro USD trade right here. So we did have this trade active last night. It did hit full TP on that big candle. So like I said, you know, after that happens, it's probably going to pull back and retrace a little bit. So if you did take this trade, you know, that was a great trade. We made, you know, 52.8 pips on that, and it went straight to target. Like, we literally got out at full TP and then it retraced a little bit. So I would just hold off on EU until you have, you know, better confirmation, you know, with regard to the direction of price. Let me see. Let me keep going down the Q&A. Let's see. Hey, James and Bradley and Cami, I see you guys put questions in the chat, but can you guys put it in the Q&A? I'm going down the Q&A, so if I don't see it down here, I might skip over your question, but I'm going down in order right now. So if you guys can just drop in the Q&A, that'd be good, and I'll get to your question as soon as, you know, I get through the ones that are currently posted already. So there goes the answer for EU right there. Let me keep going down the list. We have another question. Anonymous attendee is asking about US 30. We just went over US 30 earlier, so let me go back to it. Generally, I don't trade US 30, you know, outside of the New York Stock Exchange, because obviously we trade during this time because we have an edge right here. You know, you don't want to be trading when there's no edge in the market. Although, you know, you can grab an edge. Like you can see here, if you have the K2 indicators, you can easily take these trades. But personally, you know, it's too risky. Your edge here isn't as strong as it is for you know, when we're applying it during the New York Stock Exchange when there's high volatility in the market. But it looks like it's still coming down. You know, but I wouldn't just jump into this just because it looks like it's coming down. You know, I'd wait for, you know, some sort of catalyst telling me that price is probably going to keep coming down. Like, I would have entered this trade right here after we got this sell, but I wouldn't just enter here because you think it's going to come down. Personally, I have no idea what's going to happen with it because, you know, we didn't expect this drop to happen over here due to the statements made by Trump. And, you know, there's no way for us to really tell if Trump's going to say something else, you know, in the middle of the night, which he might. You know, he's pretty upset about Twitter fact checking him. So, you know, he might, you know, if something makes him mad in the middle of the night, he might say something, or he might say something good where he's dropping, you know, his intentions of bringing an executive order against those companies, and it just might go ahead and skyrocket on up. So personally, I don't really trade US 30 when there's no edge in the market. So right now, I would probably just wait for it to just even out and, you know, confirm which direction it's moving. Because let me see if I switch to the higher time frames. So I'll just delete all this stuff. And then we switch to the higher time frame. You know, overall trend is still trending up pretty heavy. So, you know, I'm not sure if this is going to be considered where it's going to be reversing, or it might just shoot on back upwards. So personally, I would stay away from US 30. Especially if, you know, if you don't know how to analyze it yourself, then you should probably stay away from it as well, because obviously it's in a strong uptrend, but as it's coming down, you know, there's no confirmation that it's going to keep coming down. Because the thing is, even if we draw trend lines like I did right here, and that's a better trend line right there, you know, it's getting close to the lower trend line. So it might just reject off that point. But who knows, you know, the thing is, with the way the market's moving, anything can really happen. You know, if something else happens that you know, that demonstrates weakness in the stock market, it just might break the trend line and continue on downwards. So it isn't in a critical point right now, a critical price point. So I'd probably just hold off until price either breaks below the trend line, or if it keeps, or it rejects right off it and then continues upward. But it's just too risky to take right now until you have some type of confirmation or some type of news telling you, you know, what direction price might go. So I'd probably stay away from US 30 right now, unless you know how to trade it. But there goes my analysis for right there. Let's see what else we got. So George, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna drink some water. All right. So George is asking, Shawn, can you go over how you draw zones? George, I think you're in premium, right? You have access to the indicators. So if you do, I'm just gonna show you how I do it. On the, or I'm pretty sure you've seen the support resistance video that I have in the course. Let me just go to a fresh pair that I haven't drawn lines on yet. So I'm gonna go to this pair. So the US dollar versus the Singapore dollar. So the way that I draw zones. Okay, cool. Yes, George is in premium. Perfect. So you have access to the K2SR indicator, which is pretty much going to be your best friend when drawing zones. So the way that I draw zones is I'll turn on the K2SR V2 indicator, and the zones are pretty much drawn for you already right here. So pretty much what I do is I'll just get the rectangle tool, which is right here. So if you go to the brush tools right here, just go to the rectangle tool. And then what I do is I see where price is. So price is right here right now currently. And what I do is I go ahead and draw zones over these K2SR zones. So I just grab the rectangle tool and then I'll draw them. You know, your zone could be as big or as small as you want it, just depending on, you know, your own preference. I like to keep them at, you know, a pretty decent size where you can catch, you know, movement. So right here you can see if price breaks these zones right here, what I do is I grab the measuring tool and I see how far is price between each zone. Because obviously if there's no cushion there, then I don't want to trade within these zones. So if there's not at least, you know, 20 pip cushion for price to move around, then I'm obviously not going to want to trade in that area. So I'm just going to draw a big zone instead of like multiple small zones. So if I measure this right here, it's only 10 pips. So, you know, obviously you're not going to trade within the zone because there's not enough space for you for your trade to breathe. So I would have covered that area right there. Again, right here, if we measure from this middle area to the bottom zone, it's only 11 pips. It's not enough space there. So if we measure the entire zone, you know, it's 24 pips. So this is a good zone right here. Again, I do the same thing for the closest zone above price. So right here, I'm going to grab the rectangle tool again, and then I'm going to draw a zone right over the K2SR zone right here. And then what you do is you just turn off your indicator, you just hide it, and look how nice that looks. You got some perfect zones right there. It's easy as that. And the thing with this is that since you have the K2SR indicator, you know exactly where these strong zones are. The thing is, you know, you see a lot of people draw random zones right here. So people are like, oh yeah, this is the resistance zone. And then they draw like random areas right here. And then they try to make it fit as if it's a real zone, which it kind of is right here. But the thing is, this isn't a proper zone because if I delete that, see where the zone is? The real zone is up here. But people get mistaken and they place their zones right here because, you know, obviously they don't have what we have. They don't have, you know, the automatic zones that are being plotted on the chart. And the K2SR indicator, what it does is you can set the data to go back, you know, 100 bars. So 100 bars back, which is 100 candles back. So 4 hours, 4 hours times. So if I do this, let's see. So 4 hours is 200 and 80 minutes times 100 divided by 24. So it goes back about 1,166 days. So we go back in data 1,166 days, and then we find the strongest zone. That's what it does. It finds the strongest zones that those many days back. You know, there's no way that a human being can go back, 100 of these candles and figure out where the strongest zones are perfectly. That's why we have the K2SR indicator, because it shows you exactly where, where these zones are back by computer data. And it's always on point. So instead of drawing, your own zones right here, like how someone else would have drawn their zones here, because they would have thought that this was a resistance or support or some type of strong zone. This really isn't a strong zone, because the computer debunked that theory right there. So right here, some person might think that this is a strong zone, but if you delete that bar, the real strong zone is up here. It's nowhere in this area. So people would have been avoiding trades around this area when they really should have just been avoiding trades up here. But yeah, that's pretty much how I draw zones. It's real simple if you have access to the indicator. So pretty much that's pretty much what that's pretty much how you draw a zone, and it's real simple. And let me see your other question. So your other question is, are you waiting for price to break, move out, or break the zone to trade? So have you seen the videos about my the K2SR zone trading strategy? So basically, the strategy that I apply on the 4-hour chart, that's pretty much what I'm applying. So yeah, it kind of has something to do with price breaking and moving in and out of the zones. So yeah, if you want to go and see how I apply that strategy, go ahead and watch that video. That's going to be a more detailed video explaining how I trade it. But here, I'll show you a quick example. So pretty much what I do is, so you can see right here, let me just hide this stuff. Just by looking at the chart, you can see that price generally bounces off these zones. So price will shoot up to this zone. We get a sell signal right here. We would have entered a sell because momentum was swinging downwards. And then, we would have locked in 50 pips, or we could have rode all the way down for 200 pips. But pretty much what we're doing is we're trading between zones. So if we see a rejection, we get a sell signal, we're going to ride it to the next zone. Again, right here, rejected off this zone, right? And then we got a buy signal, but then it's inside the zone right here. So as price closed above the zone, like it did right here, we would have entered a long position right here. And then pretty much, yeah, from this situation, we would have rode it up to 51.7 pips. And then again, right here, you see price rejected off this zone. We got a sell signal, but it was inside the zone, right? So rejected off this zone, we got a buy signal right here. We would enter another buy position right there. And then we would roll that up again for another 51 pips. And that's pretty much how that strategy works. So we wait for price to break the zone, like you said, and then we pretty much ride it to the next zone. So go ahead and watch that video in the course, when you get a chance, and then it'll explain exactly, how we trade this strategy, which is really simple because you can see price goes from zone to zone. So it makes it really easy for you to take these trades. And, this is why we keep winning, because, we have something that other people don't. Like nobody else has these indicators, because I created these indicators, and, there's nothing else that's similar to it that will give you, accurate depictions as to, where price is going to be going, because, we know where momentum is going. And we also know where price is going to be rejecting, because we have the zones plotted on the charts. So hope that answers your question, George. It's real simple. You just need to go ahead and watch the videos. And then once you've watched the videos, then you can go ahead and apply it yourself. It's real simple. It's not too hard because the indicators are pretty much doing most of the work for you. But yeah, I'm gonna go back. I see that you have another question there regarding the trend meter. So let me go back to that real quick. So you're asking, why are you not using the trend meter? And that goes back to the same response that I had earlier. So this specific strategy doesn't use the trend meter. But if you're using the original strategy, then yeah, that uses the trend meter. So yeah, if you go back and watch the video for this specific strategy, that'll explain why we don't use it, because like I mentioned earlier, we're trading price from zone to zone. We're not really trading off the trend for this specific strategy, and it's on the 4-hour chart. So it's different. If you're trading on the shorter time frames, then obviously you're going to want to trade with the trend. But if you're trading on the higher time frames, the price moves a lot different compared on the 4-hour compared to the 30-minute. And that's pretty much why we're not using the trend meter. As you can see right here, there's not really much of a strong trend due to the current market conditions. Price is just choppy due to COVID and, the random things going on in the world. And that's pretty much, why we're using this specific strategy just at this time. Once market goes back to normal and starts trending like it used to, then, obviously we're going to go back to the old strategy. But just for the time being, we're just going to keep using the strategy for now. But as you can see right here, the strategy still works. Like we got a buy signal and match the trend meter. Could have rode this on up here for 50 pips or whatever. So yeah, the strategy still works. It's just during these time periods, it's gonna be hard for you to find an overall trend with the trend meter. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm gonna go ahead and look up some trades right now because it's gonna close. The candle closing in about 4 minutes. So give me a second, guys. I'll get back to the questions shortly. Let me just scan through all the charts right now and see if there's any live trades. Stanley just said, "Can you go over the active trades, bro?" We actually just did. That was the first thing we did. We went over every active trade. So if we have time at the end, Stanley, I'll go over that again. But we spent like almost an hour on that already. So I'll try to go back over that a little later if we have some time. But let me just scan for some trades right now. See if there's anything that we can take.
Looks like the JPY pairs are tanking right now.
Yeah, I mean that was what I mentioned earlier. They're tanking because of what Trump said, because they're safe haven currencies. So let me I'm gonna scan through all these real quick. So this could be a sell right here. What do you think about this, Aaron?
Yeah, that's I was looking at yeah, exactly, AUD JPY and also NZD JPY.
Yeah,
Those
so
both look pretty good.
this is a good sell right here. If it closes, I mean, that's gonna be the main thing. It needs to close. So I'll just line that up right there. That's a big move though. So let me what do you think we should do for that 100 pips?
That seemed pretty cool, yeah.
Or do you think we should make it tighter? 70 pips?
Yeah, maybe like 75. Yeah, 70 pips.
Right, so I'm just gonna mark that up. I'm gonna keep going real quick because we have we have 2 minutes left before this kind of closes. He's looking good. Same support right there. It's KG. We still have this active right now, so I'm not gonna go against our own trade. CHF, Y. It's in the zone right now. Euro AUD. And man, price is like all over the place, dude. Look, if I add the SR, it pushes it like heavy. So that's cool. We still have that active. EG, no, it's in the support resistance zone. And we should have took this trade, Aaron, the EGFs one you got yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I would have hit 80 pips already, bro. It's all good.
It's crazy, like they always reverse when it's like 2 pips away from hitting TP.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. We have the GA trade right here, but it already moved up like 70 pips, so I think it's way too late to enter that. This one here too. Oh, these are the ones that we were looking at earlier. We said that it spiked up too much, so we're kind of worried that.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
I'll keep this mark. What about GN? What do you think about this?
Yeah, that could be a good one if it closes above. I mean, if it closes.
Yeah, it's perfect. Fine. Yeah, it just did. You think we should call it?
Yeah, we should call it. And it just closed too. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's a lot of pips. That's 200 pips, bro.
God damn.
100 pips looks like it's too close. What do you think?
Yeah, way too close. Yeah, we should just
It'd have to be 150. What do you think? 150? Is that too much?
Yeah, it probably could be a little too much. We should probably just skip this one.
Yeah, so if you guys are looking at GN, I'll post in the premium chat. But if you guys are here live, you guys can see, you know, that this is a valid entry right here. The only problem but the reason why we're not taking this trade is because, you know, this is a lot of risk to take right here, and a lot of people in the chat aren't willing to take, you know, 150 pip risk. I'm gonna share this in the premium if you guys want to take this trade, but I'm not gonna take it, you know, just due to the risk that's involved with, you know, this huge move. Post it in the chat real quick. Aaron, what is this? All right. So GBP, NZD. You guys are in premium. I sent the trade there, so if you guys want to copy that trade, go ahead. But I'm not going to be taking that myself, just because, you know, there's too much risk involved on that trade. So GU, NZD CAD, NZD CHF, NZD JPY. Aaron, what do you think about NZD JPY?
Yeah, that could be a nice sell stop. And then put your stop above the previous high.
Yeah, what do you think about this? 76 pips? Kind of too far off or what?
That's pretty cool. Not too bad.
57 pips? Maybe just put 60?
Yeah, I think 60 would be perfect.
All right, guys, so I'm going to post this signal real quick to the my premium members. If you guys are in premium, I'm going to post this for you right now. But you guys are going to see me post it here live. So this is pretty much how I post the signals. We do have a valid entry right there. So let me go ahead and put that in the premium signals chat right here. Sell stop. Yeah, all these buys. You're reading posting the sell signals, huh?
I don't think so.
Oh, there we go.
But US 30 probably. Let's see.
Sell stop. NCD. Y. Entry. Stop loss. TP1, 60 pips. All right, so there goes the trade for NZDJPY. Let's see what else we got here. So this is me entering a trade for my smaller account. So it's my smaller pips. It's too close. I'll put this in later. I'll mark it right there. And I'll come back to that to set my alerts. What about you, CAD? Aaron, what do you think?
CAD, I don't know about that one because it looks like it's consolidating a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So we'll skip that for now.
They get buy signal off, but I don't know.
What about USD for a late entry right here?
Yeah, it was we were about to call that one earlier, but
yeah, because we thought it was gonna retrace from, you know, that big candle.
exactly. But yeah, I still feel like it's gonna come down.
We should take it.
Yeah, we should take it. Yeah.
All right.
What's the risk? Let's see.
Post this as well. Another sell stop for USD CHF. It's gonna be 2 and 4. Or 2. So there goes 2 signals that we just the premium members. I think we have one more that might be available up here. Okay. Yeah, the RJPY didn't close there, so I'm gonna leave that alone. We could put. What do you think about this for a late buy entry right here for Swiss JPY? No, I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'll just mark it, but I'm gonna leave it alone for now.
Yeah, let's leave that alone for a little bit. I think we should be good with the 2 we have so far.
Yeah, so those 2 that I just posted, it was NJ and USD CHF. So I'm gonna set my alerts now for these. You know, I'm just gonna put a. And then we have another one here for CHF. 42. So I'm entering these live trades right here on my personal account. So let's go to market. Well, so I'm in those 2 trades that I just posted. You know, like I said, the signals that I send out, those are trades that I'm actually taking. So you guys can trust the trades that I send out. You know, they're not just random trades that I'm giving you guys. I'm actually taking them, you know, on my live account. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about if you guys are, you know, worried if you should take my signals or not. You know, obviously, if I didn't believe in these signals, you know, I wouldn't take them on my own account with real money. So, you know, there goes that. Let's set the alerts here. And then now I'm just setting the alerts so that I can be notified, you know, when price reaches, you know, certain price points. So those are set right there. NZDJPY. This is looking better right here. We're actually profit already, so. This one. One last entry right here. All right, so there goes all the alerts for those. That looks good so far. So now I'm gonna go back to the question. So let's see. So Ken wants to check out NZD/USD. Let's go back to that trade right now. NZD/USD. So that's actually one that we have active right now. You know, similar analysis to what we went over for AUD/USD. You know, they're very similar pairs because AUD/USD and NZD/USD usually move in the same direction. So we're currently in a buy right here. Like I said, you know, it almost hit TP1 right here. It was only off by a few pips. But you know, once Trump announced whatever he was planning, you know, filing those executive orders against, you know, those specific companies, and you know, the trade tension war with China, you know, and it caused price to pretty much reverse from where it was. It looks like there's no other zone that's close by to it. So let's see. Yeah, so these are the closest zones. What I still see it coming on upwards because it's still in a very strong uptrend. You can see here, you know, it's a super strong uptrend. But what might happen is price might come down, test the support, and then shoot on upwards. You know, as price goes back to normal after that, you that news release that caused price to pull back like it did right here. Although if you're still in this position, I think it's fine. So overall, I still think it's going to shoot on upwards. It's just going to take some time or something else in the market to push price in that direction. Otherwise, I think it's fine. I don't think it's something you should worry about because this is a very strong zone right here anyways. So you can see price has tested it once, rejected off, tested it again right here, rejected it, tested again right here, rejected. So even if it comes down again this fourth time and test it again, I think it's still going to bounce off and shoot on upwards again. So that's pretty much what I see happening with NU. But like I said, we're in a slow phase right now, so you're probably not going to see crazy movement until we enter London. So we have 6 hours until London opens. So until then, it might just consolidate or slowly move down to support, before it corrects on upwards. So if you're in this trade, I would hang on to it, and just wait for price to continue moving in our direction. So there goes the question for NZD USD. Next, I'm gonna look over Bradley's question. So Bradley wants us to look at AUD USD. It's pretty much the same thing with NZD USD. So let me go up to AUD USD. Same situation right here. Like I said, Trump caused this little retracement pullback right here. Price came down to the support like it did for NZD USD, and then rejected off pretty nice. So I'm expecting it to either come back down to test it again and then shoot on upwards, or just correct back upwards from where it is right now. Let me check if there's any other zones that are nearby. So yeah, these are the strongest zones on the chart, and this is a very strong support zone right here. So what I do see happening, I see that we do have a bearish candle right now that's coming down. It's probably going to come down, test it again a second time before shooting on upwards. If you look at AUD USD from a bigger time scale, so right here, it's still in a strong uptrend. So I do consider it to keep on pushing on upwards. Although it's in the middle, I do see coming on down, rejecting off the support, and then shooting on upwards. So if you're still in this trade, I think you should be fine. Similar with NZD USD, same analysis. This pullback was due to news, so I think eventually it's just going to correct back on upwards, unless Trump says something crazy. If he wants to wage war or something that's going to cause the U.S. to gain strength, then obviously it's going to keep on coming down. But otherwise, the USD is probably going to stay weak against all these other pairs. Well, not all of the other pairs, but these specific pairs, AUD and NZD, until there's any advancements for COVID or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for AUD USD and NZD USD. If you're still in it, just hang on. I think it's going to reject off the support and then shoot on upwards. So 1 second, guys. All right, next question. Well, we got one question from Tyrone. Tyrone wants us to check out oil real quick. So let me pull up US oil. My US oil is right here. It looks like, here, I'm gonna draw some zones because I haven't. It looks like it might be in a consolidation phase right now. So it's gonna be a zone right here. And then there's another zone up here. There's another zone here, but we don't really need to draw it for now because there really isn't anything. So we close SR. There we have a better picture. Looks like the overall trend is pretty strong upwards right now. It's been trending up since April 2008. I mean, sorry, not April. April 28. It's been in a strong uptrend, and then it looked like it leveled out right here, and it's pretty much just consolidating at this point. So I think until price breaks a certain area, unless it breaks below, it looks like this zone right here, it isn't really even a strong zone. It's just a zone in the middle, so we could probably even delete that. but it just looks like it's in consolidation right now. So, you know, it's pretty clear right here that price is just bouncing from zone to zone. So price, you know, price came from this zone to this zone, came down from this zone to this zone to this zone, this zone back to this zone, and then it's still coming up. So it came up right here, and then it looks like the same thing that affected all the other pairs. You know, Trump's announcement or whatever caused oil to pull back. So it technically didn't test the zone yet. So it might come on up and, you know, try to test that zone again. However, it might come down, you know, due to whatever news that was announced earlier, and then it might come down and test the bottom zone. But it doesn't look like it really has, you know, any specific direction yet until it breaks out of the zone. So, you know, unless price breaks, hey Aaron, didn't US, where did US, oh, it's right here. Okay, so US oil dropped right here. This is when it dropped to like 0.
It be traced heavy too. That's crazy.
Corrected up like
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So pretty much what it did was it corrected back to, you know, normal price. So US oil is pretty much just going to be bouncing around, you know, until something else happens that's going to, you know, dictate the direction of price for US oil. So until price breaks out of this zone, I think right now it has, I mean, we have buy bias right here with momentum, but as you can see, you know, price started coming down after the news. If this turns into a sell signal like it did right here, then you can see oil dropping down and test this support zone again before it shoots back up. Yo, what's up, Izzy? I think Izzy's here, man. I haven't seen Izzy in a long time. Izzy's
Yeah,
over.
he just hit me up on Instagram. I told him to join.
Oh, he's holding join?
Yeah, he said he missed me.
Yeah, man. Izzy's having too much fun over there, riding behind trucks and stuff, you know, drinking beer.
Exactly.
Getting going to the beach with no face mask, man. You're dangerous, bro. let's see what we got here. Man, Izzy likes to live life on the edge. He's over there, no face mask, no gloves. Bro, the news is trying to expose us. so we're gonna see Izzy on Fox News. He's gonna be one of those guys giving an interview.
Exactly.
I hope he gave Casey a shout out at least. But yeah, back to this trade Tyrone. Sorry. Like I said, oil. You know, unless it breaks below one of these zones, we're probably not going to see any directional movement by oil because obviously, as you can see here, it's in a strong consolidation zone. It's been consolidating since May 18, so that's been 10 days from now. You know, it's literally just going sideways. So until price breaks one of these zones right here, then you know we're not really going to see a strong directional movement at all. It's probably just going to keep bouncing around until it ends up, you know, breaking one of these zones right here. So pretty much until this happens, it's just going to keep going from back and forth. And this could be beneficial for you because if it's doing that, you know, you could just keep riding it back and forth and, you know, making profits both ways until it breaks out of these zones. So that's pretty much what I see for oil right now. I don't know if Shiv's in here. Hey Aaron, is Shiv in the webinar?
I don't think so. He might be asleep. He's in the UK.
Oh, he's in the
He could be sleeping until later on.
right now. He's been scalping US oil like literally.
Bro, US oil is that's a pair I never touched before, bro. Never.
Yeah, it's not really it's not something that I really focus on trading at all. I mean, ever since it dropped and everyone was getting on that crazy hype, I know Shiv's been scalping it, but for myself, I don't really trade oil like that. Or even Dijon. Is Dijon in here?
I think he should be. He's been kind of quiet.
So here's Shiv's profits from today. So he's scalping oil like crazy. You can see here he's buying it. He's trading within the zone like how I just discussed. And he's making a ton of profits off this. He's scalping, you know, making 10, 20 bucks here and there, $100 easy. He's doing oil and gold. So if you guys have access to the K2 indicators, I mean, you guys can do this as well. It's real easy. So those are his profits from, said, God, I fucking love oil. He sent me this on the 25th. So those are his profits on the 25th. Let me see if he has anything else here. So yeah, he's literally just scalping it. So again, that was on the 25th. He made, you know, a couple $100 trading that. Again, right here, he traded it on the 19th. He's literally just scalping. Well, he's scalping all the high volatile, like the volatile pairs. So he's trading, you know, GA moves super fast, scalping that. Oil, scalping that. You know, DJ30, US30. He's scalping these like crazy. And if you know if you're good at scalping, then you'd love the K2 indicators because you can do exactly what he's doing. It's super simple. So that's what he made off that. I mean, he's literally scalping it all day. So let me see what else. Yeah, right here again, you said he was scalping it all week. You know, last week he was up 3.4K. So he's scalping gold, GA. You know, he makes withdrawals, so you can see his accounts real here. This is again on the 15th. So both of the days he sent me on the 19th, he made a lot right here. Again, right here, he's been making withdrawals. He withdrew like, he made like, you know, 3.4K off that within that week. And yeah, if you guys want to scalp and you guys, you know, want to trade our indicator, you know, you can make a ton of profits just doing what he's doing. He doesn't even trade that much. He trades a couple hours a day. Again, right here on the 13th, scalping oil. So if you guys are trying to make money off oil, you know, Shiv's killing it using our indicators. But yeah, let's see what else we got here. I think that those are all the questions I have for right now. So unless you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to put them in the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to go over all of the active pairs. Is Stanley still here? Let me see. All right, Stanley's still here. So Stanley wanted me to go over all of the active pairs. So that's what I'm going to be doing, unless I get any other questions. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm just going to go down the list right now. Izzy said, Shawn, remember the first day when I was at K2, you made like $300. Yeah. When Izzy first joined K2, this dude was going nuts. He was like,
Hey, lost it the next day though. That's the crazy part.
He got way too hyped and he started he started doing all these other things that I told him not to do. Izzy started like adding his little extras to the K2 strategy and the like
harmonic scanner.
Yeah, he started using the harmonic scanner. I was like, Izzy, just stick to what I taught you. But you know, everyone lives and learns. Like, you know, Izzy was learning at the time. He really wanted to learn from me. Unfortunately, I'm too busy to teach someone like one-on-one. You know, as much as I do want to teach Izzy and, you know, everyone else in the group, like I'm doing now. You know, I kind of told Izzy to do to pretty much you know, just keep applying the same thing. And obviously, you know, with a lot of new traders, they get excited when you win. And when you use K2, you know, it's hard not to win. Like you win so much that you try to take shortcuts and you know, you end up getting burned. But you know, Izzy learned from it, so it's good. You know, as long as you learn from your mistakes, that, you know, that's the main thing there. But if you guys, you know, apply the K2 strategies and get good at it, and you just stick with it, because, you know, the strategy is so simple. And I think that's what happened with Izzy, right? Izzy, it was just too easy for you. Like you were like, is this real? And then you thought that you could add things and do things differently to make things better, but you know, it ended up backfiring. Which, you know, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you'll add stuff and it'll work out perfectly. But you know, the thing is he saw so much profit coming in that, you know, he was ready to quit his job, like he said right there. He was ready to quit his 9 to 5, which, you know, is understandable, because when you're applying K2 and you're trading a strategy that has such a high win rate, you know, you get on that high where you're just like, oh, I'm winning. What can I do next to win more and do it faster and quicker and more efficiently? And you know, that's just how trading is. You know, trading is it's a psychological game. And if you get down your trade psychology, no matter what strategy you use, then, you know, you can be good at this pretty long term. But yeah, so there goes my little rant on that. I'm gonna go down the list of pairs right now for our active trades, so Stanley can see. But yeah, so pretty much right here is our odd CHF trade from earlier. Like I mentioned, we were in profit pretty nice. It was about to hit TP1, but then Trump made that announcement that he was going to go after, um, the big social media companies, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and implement some type of restrictions on them, which caused price to spike in the opposite direction. But you can see right here, price is in a strong support zone. So what I see happening is I see price rejecting off the zone and correcting back upwards. So that's odd CHF right there. Again, right here, me and Aaron were looking at odd JPY, but this didn't close out as a valid entry, so I'm just gonna leave that there. This is our other trade right here, odd USD. We called this morning. It was literally like a pip away from TP1. Unfortunately, Trump wanted to go and screw the markets up, so he went and does what he usually does, and he ended up causing price to reverse right here. But as you can see, price came down to the support area right here. And what I anticipate happening is I anticipate price to reject off the support and correct back on upwards right here. So if you guys have this trade, it looks perfectly fine. I wouldn't freak out too much about it. But yeah, that's pretty much what that one's looking like right now. Our next trade is CAD-JPY right here. We did hit TP1 for CAD-JPY. So I think a lot of you guys moved your stop loss, at least at TP1. So if you move it to TP1, you've got it closed out with at least 34 pips, and you've gone closed out from here. But if you guys are still in the trade, it's kind of similar to what I was saying for the other pairs. Due to Trump's announcement this morning right here, he caused price to pretty much reverse. Because and the reason why it reversed is because he was going against U.S. companies, which showed weakness in the U.S. dollar. And then what happened was a lot of people put their money in JPY because JPY is a safe haven currency. So that's why JPY is gaining strength right here. But who knows? Like what I see happening here is price is probably going to come down to this support zone and then reject off it and correct on upwards. So this is probably what I see happening right here. So if you guys still have this, I would have recommended that you would have moved your stop loss in profit or to TP1 so you could lock in at least 34 pips. But if you guys didn't, this is probably what I see happening moving forward. I probably see price coming down, testing the support zone right here, and then shooting on upwards. So you guys probably have to wait a couple hours for it to have some movement because we are in Asia session, so it's not going to move too fast. So you guys are just going to have to be patient. But this is pretty much what I see happening right here. Next up, we have CHF JPY. Actually, I didn't call this trade, so I'm going to delete this. Take this down. That's not active right now. Next up is Euro CHF. Similar with CAD JPY. As you know, the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So right here, price came up, hit TP1 around here. As I always advise, if once it hits TP1, adjust your stop loss. You can move it to break even, you can move it in profit, or you can move it to TP1. I highly recommend you move it to TP1 so that you can get stopped out, pretty heavy in profit. And if you get stopped out, you can always re-enter. So I think that's what happened with my account for this one, because this is my personal account and I take all my trades on here as well. So I think once it hit TP1, I moved my stop loss to TP1, and then I got stopped out for 20 something pips. I think I have that in the results over here. So for Euro CHF, looks like so looking at Euro CHF, it hit TP1 for 19.4 pips. So if you guys took that trade that I shared earlier, it hit TP right there. And then if you took standard lot, you would have made 194 bucks. A mini lot 1940, with a micro lot $1.94. So depending on your lot size, you would have profit off that. Like I said, I would recommend that you move your stop loss and profit. So if you did, you would have made some pretty good. Let's turn that alert off. You would have made some pretty good profit off that trade. So let me delete these. But if you guys are still in this trade, it's the same analysis that I just did with CAD/JPY because you know, like I said earlier, the Swiss franc is it's a safe haven currency just like JPY. So you know, due to Trump's announcement earlier, he caused price to pretty much reverse from where it was way up here. But then what I see happening here is I probably see price coming down to the support, rejecting, and then shooting on upwards. So if you guys are in this trade, I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to hold it just because of, you know, what happened, because, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty as to where price is going. So if you can exit in profit, I probably would exit in profit and just wait for another entry, or, you know, take a different trade, because, you know, price is moving differently now due to the news that was released. So there goes Euro CHF. Next up, GBP CHF. I didn't call a trade for this, so this isn't active. I'm gonna take this off the chart. Next up, we've got NZD CHF right here. You know, same situation here. Price was in profit right here. It was getting close to TP1. Trump announced his announcement earlier, caused price to reverse down here. Not really reverse, but just, you know, retrace back. But it is in a strong support zone right here. So you can see, you know, this is probably a double bottom right here. So from this area right here, I mean, this is a strong area that's been tested so many times. So right here to test it once, twice, 3 times, and then a 4th time right here. So what I think is going to happen here is I see price rejecting off the support zone and then shooting on upwards, you know, in the proper direction. But who knows? Like I was saying earlier, you know, if we compare this to odd CHF, Euro CHF, like I said, this Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So due to Trump's announcement earlier, a lot of people are putting their money in safe haven currencies because they don't believe that, you know, other pairs, are not just other pairs, but other currencies are going to be are going to be a safe place to put their money. So if things go as planned, this is what I see happening. I see it rejecting off the support and then correcting back upwards. Izzy's asking if we went over gold. We haven't yet, Izzy, so I'll go over that after I cover these last 2 pairs right here, or last 3 pairs. So next pair is NZD JPY. You know, this is the trade that I just called earlier. And this just goes back to the same analysis for CAD/JPY, because since they're paired with a JPY pair, the JPY is a safe haven currency. So due to, you know, all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and, you know, Trump causing havoc in the world right now, you know, it's causing the JPY to gain in strength. So what I see happening here is I see it coming down. We did get a sell signal. So, you know, this is a valid sell using the K2 zone trading strategy. And I do see it continue on downwards. So this is a brand new trade right here. So you probably have to give it some time for it to, you know, at least breathe a little bit, but, you know, eventually I do see it coming on down. Next up is NU right here. NU is the same analysis that we had for AU earlier. You know, as you can see, price was literally at TP1 right here. So it was a few pips away from TP1. But then when Trump announced his announcements earlier, caused price to come down. But we can see right here, there is a bullish candle developing right here. So either price is going to come down, test the support, and then shoot on up, or it's probably going to shoot on up from where it currently is right now. So if you're in NZD USD, I think you should be fine. You know, the trade looks fine to me. And then lastly, our USD CHF trade right here. So this trade right here is a brand new trade that I just called. The reason why I called it was I was applying the K2 zone trading strategy. So first of all, we have a sell signal right here. Although it's not valid, once it was followed by, you know, a strong bearish candle, sorry, you know, it confirmed that the momentum swinging downwards. So right here we have a momentum bias swinging downwards right here. We entered as price broke this zone, so we entered right here for a late entry, and I anticipate it to come on downward. So if you guys have this trade, looks perfectly fine. I definitely anticipate it to come on down further and hit our TP right here. And that's pretty much it for, you know, our active pairs right now. Next up, I'm going to be looking at gold for Izzy. Unless you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and I can go over, you know, any pair that you want me to cover, or any theory that you might want me to go over more specifically that you might be confused with, or if you want some clarification. But yeah, okay, I'm going to go over gold right now. 1 second, guys. So looking at gold right now, this was the same analysis that I did 2 days ago. So on the 26th, someone wanted me to analyze, on my previous webinar, someone wanted me to analyze gold, and the markings are still there. I didn't move them yet, and it played out exactly how I said it would. So right here, price came down, and I figured that price is probably going to reject off this area right here, which it did. It rejected off the strong support, and then it shot on upwards. And then now it's at this zone up here. So now that it's at this zone right here, so if this closes as a set with a a sell signal in place, so it's going to close in about 3 hours and 23 minutes. If this closes right here with the sell, then I anticipate it to come on down and test this zone again. If it doesn't, then it might come on up and test this zone right here. Applying our zone trading strategy is pretty accurate. So price usually trades from zone to zone. So currently it's in this middle zone right here. So it doesn't really have a confirmed direction just yet. So I'd probably wait for price to, I'd wait for either the signal to close or for price to break and close outside this zone or this zone down here. So this is pretty much what I see, currently. I don't really have a bias for gold right now, depending on however you guys want to trade it. If you guys want to trade it on shorter time frames, let's go to 30 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty much going to consolidate. It looks like right here it rejected off the bottom of the zone right here. So what might happen is it might shoot on up to this top area, and then it might reject like it did right here, and then come on down and just keep consolidating until it's confirmed a direction. So until price breaks from either below this zone or above this zone, then we're probably not going to see a specific directional move until that happens. So that's pretty much how I see gold right now. Like I said, I don't really trade on 30-minute at this time because all the noise on the chart. So I stick on the 4-hour. But I mean, it's good to see that that my analysis from last Tuesday played out perfectly, where it rejected off this support level right here. So yeah, I would just hold off on gold right now until it breaks above this zone. Once it does, you can probably anticipate it to shoot on to this zone right here. So let me see how far is that. So if you're to enter the trade from right here, you lock in a nice 1,000 pips. If you were to take that entry off that trade. But yeah, it looks like that's pretty much all the questions that we have right now. If you guys have any other questions, I mean, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I don't mind staying on here and answering your questions. But we did go over pretty much every single pair, so I don't have anything to really cover right now. At the time being. But if you guys do have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I'm gonna hang around for like another couple of minutes. Oh, here comes Shawn with his because your analysis was wrong. Your analysis was wrong. No, it was actually right, Shawn, because I told you it was gonna reject off the support. And what happened here? It did exactly what I said it would. Unfortunately, Shawn wanted to take a sell and get some stop losses up here. But yeah, I don't know. What's your analysis? You think it's going to go up or you think it's going to go down? Let's see what Shawn's got to say. Let's see. All right. So let me look over. Izzy wants me to check out DXY. So he wants me to check out the dollar index. Let's see. I think that's about it for this pair. So let me pull up DXY real quick. Let's see. DXY off the index. Sorry about that. It's DXY. We'll go off currency. Or let's look at the CFD. So for the CFD, Anonymous attendee says, who actually buys, sells the currencies when we trade the Forex market? I don't trade the dollar index. I personally don't. I don't know if Izzy does. Izzy, do you trade the dollar index? This was Izzy's question. He wanted me to analyze DXY. Personally, I don't trade it, as a future. Um, I do add it to my chart sometimes. So if I'm trading, your USD or USD JPY, then I'll add the compare right here, and then I'll add the index so I can see, where price is going off the actual index. But it looks like, I mean, it's weird because the index is going down, but if you go on certain pairs, it's strong. So see on odd USD, or actually it's correcting back upward. So our odd USD pair over here, it's coming back up. So it does line up with DXY because DXY is weak. Same with NZD/USD. I'm anticipating this to, yeah. So it's coming back up too right here. But I mean, it's weird because it came down strong right here, but DXY's been coming down strong like pretty much the entire week. So I don't understand, where that strength for USD came. But yeah, as you said, no, I'd like to check it out to see if the USD pairs will be bullish or bearish. Yeah, I do the same thing. I mean, that's pretty much what I would do. So if I was on odd USD, I would just hit the compare button right here, and then I'd add DXY to the chart. And then you can line it up right here to see, the strength of DXY. You can see right here as the US dollar came spiking right here, you can see that it spiked up a little bit right here. And that's pretty much how you can analyze it. But I don't trade the future, outright like that because, obviously we're trading pairs. So it's kind of unnecessary. But let me go back to DXY. So just looking at it from like, a bird's eye view, it looks like the US dollar isn't very strong right now. So fuck, I just entered that trade too. Let me see. Okay, I hope NJ will come back down, but it's fine if it doesn't. I could draw some zones right here. So, I mean, this is the only closest zone that we have. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the zones for DXY. And yeah, I mean, it played out perfectly. Like if we were applying the K2 zone trading strategy, so if we were applying it right here, as price came down right here, we would have taken a sell. Again, when price broke this zone right here, we would have taken another sell right here. But as you can see, it's in a strong downtrend right now. So I don't see it coming on up unless something happens to cause, the US dollar to gain strength. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't look like it's going to be recovering anytime soon. I mean, obviously, with the economy and how everything's working, yeah, I don't really see it. If it does come up a little bit, it might come up slightly because it did reject off this trend line right here. It might come up, test this zone, and then come back down. Otherwise, I don't really see anything happening with DXY. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, or if you guys want me to cover, any other trading theories that you guys might be confused with. Otherwise, I'll hang around for a bit. It is getting closer to 7, so if it does hit 7, then or once it gets closer to 7, if we don't have any other questions, then I'll probably just get off a little early. But like normally, I'm going to be available on the Telegram. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to pass them on to me. Let's see. Izzy said, when are we doing the K2 meetup? Man, I was hoping to do it this summer, but with COVID, it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Hopefully next year at the latest, maybe later this year. So just depending on, how things play out over the next couple of months. If flights become more relaxed and, we're able to travel, then I'm up for going, sometime this year. Especially since I quit my job, I might as well just go. Because, all I need is my laptop. Once I have my laptop, I could trade wherever I'm at. I could be hanging out with Izzy at the beach with no face mask and no gloves, and we could rent an air. Yeah, as you said, we could rent a big Airbnb. Yeah, definitely, especially out there where you're located. You know, they have huge Airbnbs out there. It's not nothing compared to how it is out here in California. You know, California, you pay an arm and a leg for a big Airbnb, but definitely out there, I'd be down. Let's see. Nice. Yeah, Izzy's got some spots, and then he's also got some beats too, because he's about to give us a new K2 beat soon. Dijon said, Rona watching y'all. Oh man, if Rona's watching us, then you better stay away from Izzy. Izzy's gonna come after you. What happened to Aaron? Aaron said, did anyone get booted from the Zoom? Only me. How do you get booted? Oh, he's not even in here. He can't even hear me talking. But Aaron said in the premium that he got booted. There's a premium chat if you guys are in the premium. Basically, Aaron's asking if anyone got booted from the Zoom. And Dijon said that he booted him for talking. And I said, he was active orders straight from. But yeah, guys, I don't see any other questions in the Q&A. Yes. But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much covers all the questions for the Q&A. If you guys have any other questions, I'm probably gonna get off the live right now. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Telegram, and I can answer them for you. Otherwise, yeah, this was a great. Aaron sees over his laptop. Yeah, this was a good live trading room and trading webinar. I hope you guys got the help that you guys needed. But like I said, I do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to bring them to this webinar, and I can go over them for you real time, so you guys can get the help that you guys need. Otherwise, yeah, I'm always available on Telegram or email. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to send them over to me, and I can help you guys out. Otherwise, guys, yeah, I'll be active on the Telegram, and I'll talk to you guys later. See you guys.